B-Bad and Brandon.
Official countdown.
Oh no, we already started on this count. Sorry.
That's a very professional setup.
Yeah, we run a very tight ship here at the platform.
That was good.
And yeah, we're rolling.
Yeah.
Right. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast, Johnny.
Yeah,
Finally, we made it.
Yeah, man. You've been on the top of my list since we started this thing.
Yeah, I've
100%.
actually heard a lot about you. A lot about you over the years. We're going to get Ed on. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
And we've circled you. You know, we've had Octavio on. We've had Anton on. I've had my old coach Felipe on. You know, we've circled the Jits community, and now we finally get to get the OG, the head honcho.
The kingpin himself.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Love that. So, Matt, I reckon we get into the questions.
We have a question. Very big question, Ed.
Shoot.
It is, you have and only have 21 words or sounds to answer this question. And it is who you are and what you do. Brandon counts.
Loosely.
I'm a very genuine, down-to-earth person that likes to be around very interesting and funny people. Have a laugh, challenge myself, be surrounded by good people, putting myself in positions that I have to try to make things better for the world, for people, for my friends, and aside from that, having fun.
That was great.
I think that was 23 words.
I think it was 23, just over.
Yeah, all right.
But I was not going to stop you off that roll.
We had a good flow.
I like how you summed it all up again. Like, you just want to leave things in a better spot.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a cool
Yeah.
legacy.
Exactly. It's a cool legacy. It's a cool mission. And obviously, you're jiu-jitsu trained and coaching.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. And
Yes.
you
And
own
epic business called GARRA.
GARRA.
Yes.
Matt, when did that start?
So GARRA, I started teaching jiu-jitsu here in Australia probably, let me look into that, probably 17 years ago,
Damn.
when people didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was. So
Yeah, no
that
doubt.
was very difficult at the time.
Was it UFC then? Was UFC then? It was just coming through, eh?
Yeah, so that was the only recollection that people thought about jiu-jitsu was that Hoist UFC. That was the only thing that actually people, jiu-jitsu, so UFC. I was like, no, it's a little bit different. Or some people never seen anything, not even seen UFC.
Yeah.
So they would come and watch a class and say, oh, so is that karate? I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be tough.
Fuck, that's a stab to the heart.
Is it karate?
Yeah, it was
Damn.
that difficult,
Ouch.
Like, I've never done jits, but I know that's not karate. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was completely different. Especially here in Queensland, because I lived in Sydney before, and Sydney the scene was just starting, but there was already in a magazine there. There was a few literally 3 Brazilian guys already ambassadors of jiu-jitsu back in here in Australia in a way, especially in New South Wales. So they had an idea, but when I moved here, even these 3 guys said to me, man, what are you going to do in Brisbane, man? They don't have a clue. You know what I mean? And I was literally, I said, well, I'll be the first one then.
Yeah, that's a good opportunity.
Yeah, at the time, but it took a while for that opportunity to actually solidify,
Yeah. I love that though, is everyone's telling you, what are you going to do? There's a lot of, I guess, doubt, but you saw it as an opportunity to bring something to Queensland, to Brisbane, and I mean now, it's huge.
Yes.
And you, as we said before, you're the kingpin of it. You're the fucking godfather.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to kingpin. Kind of funny. Has that connotation, a bit. But look, it's, I think, definitely ambassador. Definitely someone that run the risk and came and having a culture.
Yeah.
Breathe, live jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? My entire life. So it's just well, I'll give it a shot at this. I know this.
Yeah.
And then I'm so glad I done it, to be honest, because I then fell in love with the place. I fell in love with people, actually. I thought that this is what I need in my life. My youth, I lived in Rio, and then I lived in Sydney. Great parties, all that. But here is a perfect place. Like, you know what I mean? The vibrant of the people, like how friendly people are. It's an awesome place to bring up family.
Yeah.
And so I found it was perfect move, you know.
Yeah.
I love that you described it as you love the people of the place. It's not the place, but it's the people that make the place.
The people that make the place,
Yeah, 100%.
always 100%. I'm super actually worried. This is one of my biggest priorities in my gym is like make the culture. You know exactly how I learned, because the culture is what makes the place. I have no doubt
100%.
about that.
Culture and community drive whatever you do.
And if people are not willing to be in our culture, I would prefer for them to go and find somewhere else that they will fit in, and they'll be better for both of us.
100%, because not everyone's going to fit into your culture.
Correct.
But I think it's easy to create a culture around sport, you know, as opposed to something like business. Because especially with jiu-jitsu now, I by no means I've never done jiu-jitsu, and I don't claim to know anything, but there's a discipline to it. And I think the disciplines and the beliefs that drive it drive culture. And you can see from like just talk. We've been speaking for 6 minutes now, and like you're just so disciplined in everything you do, and everything you do is with an intention to leave things in a better place.
Yes, and with like you have what I try to avoid as much as possible. I never try to have an opinion in that circle, in that community. I don't have opinion like political, religious, you know what I mean? Like things that we're always going to have different thoughts, you know what I mean? So the thought there is jiu-jitsu, what brings us is the love of the lifestyle, the love of and then the values and the rules are values and rules that are important to be in society, very common sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and this is important to be together with someone. If you want to be together with someone, we have to respect these boundaries regardless, you know? And the sport helps a lot.
100%. I think it just adds that extra layer to lay it in and really let people sink it in.
Yeah.
And I think jiu-jitsu is a great example of that.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
What made you make the decision to come to Australia? It's a big move. How old were you?
Yeah, it is.
I was 23 at the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Sorry, how old are you now?
I am 45.
I don't believe
Yeah, he's looking
That's
good.
that. I reckon he's 38. He's just trying to pull our leg here.
Braylon, that's the lifestyle.
Yeah,
The
no, I
lifestyle
don't believe
in
it.
Australia.
I want to see birth certificate and driver's license, please.
23 is a big call for a
Yeah.
young 23-year-old to say, you know what,
Yeah,
let's go to...
100%.
Were you thinking about making a go of coaching over here, or was it just come to travel?
Well, I have that at the back of my mind.
Yep.
You know, look, I was actually thinking about this a lot lately because I'm thinking about writing a book.
Oh,
Please
yeah.
do.
It has another basic subject, but I need to talk about that decision. And so I've been thinking lately a lot about that. It was a connection of different things. So always had a dream to learn English
Yep.
and speak well. And to learn a language, just twice a week, going to a course. I hated to be in a course, you know,
Yep.
just going to learn the book is on the table, kind of, you know, it's like
The
very...
classroom setting is
where
not
is
for
the
us.
food?
Yeah.
Thank you for my lunch.
Take for my lunch, everyone wait 30 minutes for you to say that phrase and say, oh, well done, you know, like, so that's
Yeah.
no reality. So I wanted to, so that was one thing, like learning English, because I knew that no matter what are you going to do in life, the more languages you have, the more opportunities are going to come out of that. So that was number one. Number two, Brazil is a very different reality, economical reality. For example, I did uni degree there, I finished. So you finish uni in Brazil means absolutely nothing. So like you literally gonna have to literally fight for a job, right? And when you get a job, they'll have a lot to do with who you know, who is your uncle and all that. You're gonna find out that if you put it on a paper, the amount of money you pay for your lunches, your petrol and everything, and the amount of money you receive, the maths, they're not gonna...
It's not going to add up.
It doesn't gonna add up. So you look, well, wait a second. So if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna be living with my parents for the rest of my life, or I'm gonna buy something. Oh, guess what? You're gonna have to live 24 suburbs away. You know what I mean? Like, and Jesus, this trip is gonna take a while to go to work. So you start to think a little bit ahead. You know what I mean? Like, and be more rational. And I was like, well, I'm young. I have no family right now. I have like kids that I have to support. You know what I mean? so the time to do this is now, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go there. I had a dream to learn English. I wanted to see different because I don't agree. A lot of the things that are happening in a country like Brazil, you know what I mean? That they actually, if you have a very sensible person, they actually hurt you in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I have a good upbringing, you know. Like my parents, they have a good they gave everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like we could afford things. Brazil is a very the most unequal place in the world. I don't know if you guys know that.
No.
So the biggest number of choppers in the world in Brazil, like rich people have the biggest number of cars with protections against like guns, like to get shot in the car, kidnaps is in Brazil. So it's common to have like lifts in houses there, like it's a common thing, you know what I mean? We're talking like 3-4 floors houses.
Wow.
So it's, but
The other
in the
end's pretty
same
extreme.
suburb, right, like maybe 500 meters a K away, there's a slum. You know what I mean?
Right.
A
Where-
proper slum.
And
Proper
it's like
slum.
polar opposites in the same district.
In the same suburb.
Yeah, right.
And you will play soccer with the drug dealer. Do you know what I mean? Like you will go and like you be in a party or you're gonna go to the slum because you have friends in the slum as well, and you're gonna see like a 9 years old off his head on coke with a grenade. You know what I mean? Like
Fucking hell.
it's the most craziest thing I think, like that it's hard for people to kind of grasp, you know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
I'm honestly trying to sit here and go, what does a 9-year-old playing soccer with a drug dealer, high on coke, with a grenade in his pocket look like? And it's just...
Yeah, like I mean, it's just like what do you the things that you're exposed to.
Yeah.
When you have these like so unequal world and diverse in the same place, it's like a boiled kind of pot. You know what I mean? Like any shit can happen, you know, and you prepare for everything. Like
That's a fucking recipe for something.
man, when I used to go out when I was a teenager, I have a wallet. I would put $2 in my wallet, and my real money, would go underneath my shoe.
Yeah.
So like, someone tried to steal me. Hey man, I just have $2. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
every day, like so it's a different world, you know.
Very,
Fuck.
very different world.
Yeah,
bro.
it's a different world.
So
what,
was-
what was it like when you landed here in Australia? When you like, if that's what you're kind of used to.
Yeah, someone's like, oh, hello. Yeah, I never seen my money.
No, look, it's actually when I landed here in Australia, like this is the other thing that I found amazing. Because you guys, so for me it was so important to see the difference, right? So when I landed here in Australia, I'm gonna tell you something that I really, a couple of things that actually go, wow, what a place is this? Man, I remember the first time. I love barbecue. And there's actually, when you think about it, there's a lot of similarities between Australia and Brazil. The love for barbecue, the love for holidays.
We do love holidays.
My
yeah.
holidays, you know, like even like Australian
having a
Day,
barbecue
Yeah,
on a
and
holiday.
things like that. We have a lot too, exactly the same. So this I never miss one because you guys have plenty.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, time to celebrate. The love for you know, so, and the barbecue, the beaches, beautiful beaches. You know what I mean? Like in, I think people itself, you know, like hang together, the culture. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a lot of similarities. But as soon as I arrived here, one thing that I look at, I was like, man, when I saw that Barbies at the beach, man,
Yeah.
oh my God, you press the button, you can bring
Yeah.
the meat there, you know, and you can cook watching the beach, and guess what? People clean afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so that was a lot of things I start falling in love with, the way the birds, how they interact like animals with humans, like they're not scared of each other, you know what I mean? They'll come and there's no like, man, a bird might think, man, they're gonna kill me and do me for dinner, you know what I mean? Like there's not that kind of tension, you know?
Wow.
So all these little things, you know, and the way people respect each other's space is very, very nice. And public transport, public hospitals, like, so so I came from a place where you never see difference, like things actually working. When I saw these things working, I was like, wow, this is man, a real. That's where, like, for me, Australia is like, if there is any place where the capitalism really worked, I would say Australia. You know, I lived in America before. I lived in New York when I was a bit younger. So I travel around the world, but I think Australia, like, no matter what you do, you can achieve like material needs, like, and the other thing as well that I found amazing about Australia, you can recreate yourself professionally just like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's something we take for granted, like, obviously, and it comes from being exposed to not having that.
100%, Brendan.
And I think
People here don't give the value.
Nah, like, we are a very, very lucky country.
Yes.
Like, we are very blessed, and like, oh, you know, I think it's evident to see with all this bullshit going on right now around coronavirus, like, we've relatively come out of it unscathed.
100%.
Like, we're in a very good position. Like, yeah, we've had to be locked down for a little bit, and like, but even in Brisbane, you know, we are still so much better off than what people in New South Wales or people in Victoria had to deal with. And I think there's as much as our culture is, you know, very strong, and our sense of community is strong, I think there is a looming, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I think there is a looming sense of entitlement within the upcoming generation.
100%. 100%. I agree with you. But it's like, you know, you have that, like, it's like it's like a spoiled kid. Whatever you born, you never had any traumas, you never had. I call sometimes, you know, I teach teenagers, and I was like, the kids are so like,
they're just not
they
resilient.
have no drive, no resilience, no accountability, nothing. And I go, man, it's like these teenagers never caught a bus, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, man, they picked up, okay, come in the car right now. This is your lunch, you know what I mean? Like, man, just a little bit. I'm not asking for, you know, but just a little bit. But I think, if you're too spoiled, you cannot see it. Like, it's like, for example, when you cannot see the difference, like you didn't have the opportunity to see the difference. Like, for example, in Brazil, people, they think that public hospitals supposed to not work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I went to Prince Charles Hospital here. I was like, man, it looks like I'm in a 5-star hotel.
Yeah, right.
Like, man, I'm in a Marriott hotel here. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
That's insane.
But that is very important to be able to. That's why I always tell, like, a lot of people should, travel. Like, it's very important. See the difference. Don't only go to Europe, to the poshest country in the world. Go to our countries where you're gonna see the difference. Like, try to see the difference. Like, seeing the difference will make you a better person. You make appreciate what you have. Will make you see that the things that you believe are not the only things. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, you guys put avocado on the pizza. I never had avocado on the pizza. Right?
That's strange. Even I think that.
Yeah, I draw the line there.
Oh, I don't mind now. You know what I mean? But as soon as I saw, I was like, my God. But you think there's a right and wrong. But then when it just opens your mind. You know what I mean? Like, we only do sweets with avocado in Brazil. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, all these things, like the little things, the more you travel, you go, wow, these guys use this for that. I never thought, well, there's no right or wrong here, you know?
But that's what also creates experiences, and you learn from that. And my following question to the one before is, like, obviously jiu-jitsu is a quite intense sport from my understanding, or can be. Now, with this group of entitlement, you know, kids growing up, when you have these people come in, do you find they walk out of your what's it called? Class a little bit more resilience? Because I can't imagine having him laying all over the top, and he won't create some sort of resilience in some point. Do you find you get able to teach those disciplines, to teach those values through jiu-jitsu?
Well, look, I 100%. And nowadays, with more social media than ever, more less personable interactions, all ages, human beings need to build more resilience. They need to build more socialization. They need to learn how to lose and think about what they do wrong, be more accountable. So what I would say, there is a desperate need, just as observant person, there's a desperate need for kids, teenagers, and adults to get involved with something like that.
I love what you just said of they need to learn how to lose.
That's the best thing.
Right,
so
100%.
And lose to anyone in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Anyone can beat you.
Every day.
Yeah.
So, for example,
Every day.
this is one of the biggest difference that I found between jiu-jitsu and a lot of other even martial arts.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think. this is I worked in a boxing Muay Thai gym for many years, and for example, Muay Thai and box, you can go and train in the gym, spa, for probably a year, let's say, and no one will actually get knocked out, right?
Yeah.
And so you see how they behave, people behave in these gyms, like, oh, I would knock that cunt out, I would do this, I would do that, but never happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of funny. So it's like an inflated ego, but there's no
evidence to back it up. Yeah.
Right? So the other person doesn't happen to look to improve, etc. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so in jiu-jitsu, nearly every day, right? You will tap.
Yeah.
So we basically go, okay, you got me how?
More times than not.
More times than- exactly. So this is the best thing, and then you're gonna have the opportunity to think about what could you do better, right? How can you do it again? Do you know what I mean? And what did you do wrong? And not only what you do wrong, this is what I tell people, what the other person did right. So also appreciate their qualities. Don't be so hard on you. Be kind. What they done, that was great. And then you have the opportunity to ask them to show you. I learn a lot like that.
Yeah,
you need
that's
humility to do that.
Humility, literally.
It's the other thing that jiu-jitsu teach you.
Yep. I think that, and across all sporting cultures, have you read a book? I'm not sure if you're into reading.
I'm a big reader.
Have you read Legacy by James Kerr?
No, I heard of, but I haven't.
Yeah, so he follows the All Blacks, and I'm re-listening to it because I read it years ago, and the first chapter is all about humilities, and these are like, the All Blacks have been quoted as one of the most successful sporting franchises in history. They have an 80% win rate, 85% plus win rate. Like, that's unheard of. But their top-level players are still sweeping the sheds after their games. Their own shreds, they're sweeping it. And I think that's just unreal. Like, we spoke...
I love that.
Oh, 100%. Like, and that shows humility, number one, to never be bigger than any sort of job. Number two, it shows respect for your environment, but ultimately respect for yourself. And I think that's just something, like you said before, like what we need to teach, it's that. Respect your environment. And because it's not just my environment. Those footy sheds, bloody, they could, Johnny's team could walk in next. It's showing respect for the people that comes in as well.
Absolutely. Look, I've been thinking a lot about this lately. Like, there is... it's very easy right now to get into competition, pretty much a material competition, status competition, anyone can get into this trap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the way that I found that I can keep myself focused on within myself is doing these tasks. I love, like, I was washing the concrete. That's
you were just saying before.
Just washing the concrete at the front of the gym. I sold my car, I had a van. Now I'm just driving the van. Like, I trying to go the opposite direction than trying to kind of like go into a game of competing for. I'm preferring working more on my mind, working more on my flexibility, making my joints. Like, this is where I want to spend my time. So I'm not checking my phone. I'm not going. I had to change. I did a few changes in my life with that, and so the last 2 years I've been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of Pilates, and a lot of stretching, which it brings stretching as well, a lot of yoga. Yeah.
That's unreal, and that's obviously enhanced your performance on the.
Enhance my performance. Enhances my, I think, patience as well. Appreciation for things, like gratitude,
100%.
It make me give you more value for things that are more important at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Family,
friends, the things that I really like doing. To bring that pleasure. Be around nature, or train and have a chat afterwards, just to go mechanically. Because when we're too busy, we do doing things mechanically. What I mean? I'll try to break.
Too much time on that telephone for a lot of people.
Exactly.
Way too much.
A telephone, like, it's supposed to be a tool. Just a tool. Put in a toolbox. People are like, oh, I'm not putting TV in the room, but then they own their phones.
Yeah. So you're replacing one screen with another.
Yeah, you're doing it.
It's like one of our favorite quotes is, you know, technology is a great tool, but a better master. Like this thing runs our life most of the time now, and like even like I'm so trying to like just put it down more and not even think about it. But it's
a challenge, Brandon.
Okay,
I'm
you're
doing a
doing
challenge. I'm still half a month, which I wanted to implement, but I did half a month. So I wake up, I cannot grab it. All right?
Bro, I did something similar. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then what I do, I get a coffee, I do a stretch routine, I might go whatever I have to do without touching. Then when I do something very nice for me, and I had a time, eventually I'm gonna get. Because, and at night, part of the challenge, I arrive home, it's done.
Yeah.
I don't gonna touch it. You know what I mean? Like, cause I already worked, you know, arrived at home. I don't care. This is like another time that I need. I don't want to be, because the crazy thing, if you think about it, let's say I'm waiting for something. I go there and I see there's 4 emails, because there's always an email, right?
Yeah, fucking over there.
There's always something happening. Someone's selling something, someone's asking something, but you're not gonna answer the email right now. You don't have time. You're just in the line of the post office. You don't have time. You're gonna be thinking about that. Oh, how about that? And how about that? What the one? Why? So now when I get the emails, okay, I have 1 hour now. I'm gonna answer every email that I have. You know what I mean? So it's a focused, on a task kind of thing. That's done. Okay, now I'm gonna answer emails tomorrow.
Yep.
You know?
I reckon, and the best thing I do now is like I have a rule is that I cannot look at my phone other than to shut my alarm off until I get to work.
Great.
Of a morning, it's wake up,
Great.
drink my water,
because
have
you
my
read
coffee.
for it. Like it's the time that you should be doing it.
Yep. And like the first thing, I don't want to be flooded with, you know, there's always an email and there's always messages. There's always Johnny on night shift texting me at 2 a.m. It's like I don't want that stress. But like first thing in the morning, I don't want to be hit with adrenaline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to wake up and feel good. I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want to feel tired. Like
Moon mode. Moon mode.
Yeah, night mode
Put it on fucking moon mode.
I'm
Do
really.
not disturb. It's my
I just
favourite
want to I don't want to admit this on the podcast, but I only just worked out how to put like the blue light function on your phone, so it like dims, you know, starts to dim as you go to bed. I only just figured out how to do that.
So you're not getting blasted with all that.
I'm not getting
fucking
blasted.
white light before you try.
But you know
to
what? It was
sleep.
funny when I did that last month. I replaced that phone time, and I was like, "Well, I'm watching more TV now." And I'm like, but it's so ingrained. That's just a natural thing. And so now I'm like consciously like, no, talk to your partner, or read a fucking book, or play with your dog.
Yeah,
Like
exactly right.
3 things that are going to provide connection with yourself, and you know, more quality time with your partner.
Yeah, we got a good rule here. Like if we sit down, we don't have TV until we've done everything we need to do, and that includes us spending time together, eating dinner together.
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, there's no TV at dinner time, and sometimes there is a rule where we're like, "Fuck, we really want to watch this movie," and we will talk to each other about, "Hey, how about we watch that movie tonight while we're having dinner?" And if we both agree, we'll do it. But 99 times out of 10,
See, I love that.
we kill that, and then we get to have this beautiful time together.
Yeah.
And then we're packing up and cleaning up together, and then usually it's getting pretty late now, so like if we do watch a little bit of telly to chill out before we go to bed, it's something real small, it's really meaningless, and then we're fucking in bed. But we've had an hour and a half or an hour of great content.
I love
discussion
that.
with each other.
You know, you said it before, learning a lot of language. Like, language is the way we create our reality and create our experiences. So a beautiful conversation with your partner is going to be so much more beneficial than picking up a fucking phone and just scrolling through your TikTok or Instagram or whatever the kids are doing these days. Like, I think that's brilliant. Like,
I love it. I genuinely look forward to it. Like, whereas before I used to look forward to coming home and watching telly.
Yeah.
Like,
and like,
oh yeah, let's go.
And look, to be honest, sometimes I get caught in the trap because there's a, like, you know, the Daredevil Marvel series on Netflix. And I'm like, oh my god! But you know, I love the sitting down with your partner at the dinner table with no screens.
And that's actually a consequence of the cycle. For example, if you're working like a machine, and you don't stop, and you're always there, you always try to, like, we want to look and busy and pretend we are proactive, everything. So we go into the extreme.
Yep.
The end of this cycle is actually you sitting in front of the TV the whole week and going, I'm so tired to do anything because I've been running like a machine. this is okay. This is this is your free time. Okay, next, go. So you're just finishing the cycle that you started before. You know what I mean?
Started with the screen. We're gonna finish with the screen.
Yeah.
So I like what I think what you said before. Getting out, going into nature is a really good way to hit the reset button. And
we love going for walks. We get down to Kedron Brook. Like,
yeah.
That's the one thing I miss the
I
most.
was there this morning, my friend.
Oh, were you? Bro.
Yeah.
It's so nice down there.
It is.
It's just on our back step, so
I call Disneyland for dogs.
Yeah, isn't it just? They're fucking everywhere.
I actually, if me and the partner go out for a date night, it's the phone stays in the car.
Yeah, bro.
100%.
Like if you can't have an hour to yourselves as a couple without having your phone, man, there's something wrong, eh? Okay.
100%. And I think this is the problem right now. Like we got this tool to operate, and this tool is like they can make magic to make us super addicted.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't know. Like we're finding that we need to build boundaries, but we're still working that out. Like, you know what I mean? Like the other day I went for a bike ride on Monday. Actually, 10 years ago I went to Japan. No one looks no one. They like this.
Yeah, bro.
Wonder why they. And at the time I was like, I wonder why they date dolls. They do date dolls there. I don't know if you guys know that.
No, I didn't know
dolls.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they take a doll.
Oh,
to
a doll.
dinner.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, sorry, maybe But and I was driving my bicycle, Ash Grove there, and then I was like, man, everyone on the phone, like everyone walking like this, everyone here, everyone. I'm like, man.
Look around, look up.
This is supposed to be the time without that. You know what I mean? Like your nature. Anyway, like I think people. I felt that. You know what I mean? And so I have to do it for myself. I think there'll be. The thing that's like we all here doing something with it. Like we're realizing that, which I think is very important because there will be a lot of mental issues coming with that kind of like abusing of the social media, etc. I personally think I always said that. So I have an advertising degree. I used to work for an oil company back in Brazil, and one day I woke up and said, fuck that. I'm not gonna work for these cunts because they make the oceans, man, like polluted as fuck. And here I am doing advertising. They do a turtle project, you know?
Yeah.
It's all bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So advertising does that to you, you know? And I think people need to work that out for themselves and start to kind of have an idea. Because I think Facebook, Instagram, if you're not using this for work, legitimate work, I think is the most bogan thing ever created by humanity, man. Right?
Yeah, but you know what's like? I was reading a book the other day. It's like these were created to connect, to let me hear his voice when I'm not there. Now we can fucking work from these things. Like it's just another thing that's grabbed our attention. It's like no, this was created just so that if I needed Johnny for some reason or there's an emergency, I can call someone and let them know.
Correct.
I don't need to fucking do emails from my phone. I can do that from my laptop, which I paid a stupid amount of money for. So why do I need another thing to do it for? Like, I actually just took the emails because I used to have it all set up on my home screen where I could see the emails. I was like, this just causes me more anxiety and stress. Fuck this off.
50 new emails.
You're like, oh my god. Wake up in the morning, 15 emails. Shit, I got to answer them. Like, fuck that.
Exactly.
First thing I need to do in the morning is take a shit. That needs to be, I want to feel relaxed.
Exactly.
It's fucked. Yeah.
I think once you realise you don't have to answer them, that's when the
magic happens.
Things get a lot better.
Yeah.
100%.
Question for you, like you said before that you were, you've just recently gone down this meditation route, and being at age 45, which I still don't believe, by the way, did you find any barriers to entry to starting that meditation? Like, where did you go to look for information on it, or was this something you were just like, no, I'm just going to sit in the room and think?
No. Look, I think I started to feel the need, right, to quieten my mind and to look after my body. I have this thing, like I to look for my own, like I train my mind to be more in connection with the subjects that I want to be in connection, be able to control that, who I expose, what kind of thoughts I want to expose. Yeah. And so I went for which I still go. I went for it's in Alderley. It's called Brisbane Relaxation Center.
Yeah, right.
Which is something that really touched me because it's a no-for-profit organization.
Okay.
Run by volunteers, and they have lots of amazing courses, including all different types of courses to do with mind, body, and entertainment. And they run meditation classes.
Yeah.
Which is called like a Reiki, which is a very a form of meditation. That's I really felt connected to it. So it was so it was there. That was my first like real. It's a guided meditation.
Yeah.
And that thing like completely made me feel like, wow, that's it. You know what I mean? It is awkward. I feel like I read a definition about meditation. Like people have a completely different. They don't have the right understanding. So this lady, the book that I read was really interesting. The definition she gave, because they think they're gonna go. I took friends to meditation. They go there. You think you're gonna feel something.
Yeah.
Or something's gonna go and stop your brain or put you in a lake stage forever. But it's like physical or technical something. You're gonna have to keep training. But you go the next week, you go the next week, you go the next week, and what that will make you do, slowly you're gonna find that your threshold for something that you're not good to deal with mind-wise is gonna improve.
Yep.
So that's what's gonna do. So it's not a one-day thing. It's by you constantly doing, your mind's gonna open more space to deal an acceptance to the things that you perhaps you feel more anxiety towards it, you know what I mean, or you cannot handle well certain subjects. Just open up a little bit more.
100%. I liken, because when people are like, what does meditation feel like? It's like you don't really feel anything. It's like a really good conversation where the time flies by, and then you look at your watch and go, oh shit, we've been talking for 2 hours. Like that's meditation. That's the feeling you get. I had
an experience one day where it might sound ridiculous for someone, but it wasn't something that I managed to do much afterwards. I'd had probably doing for 2 years one time. I wasn't on my body, but my mind was, I was worried that I could not come back.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
And so, which would freak me out.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Sandra, the main coach of I said, look, can I have a conversation like after class? Look, this is what happened. She's like, oh, you start learning how to meditate.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cause
you're like, how far down this rabbit hole can I go?
You now get your blue belt, Ed.
Definitely.
You got a stripe.
Definitely. And you know what? It really kind of changed my life in such a different and deep way that I got these vases that I brought from Amazon. I actually gave one present for her, which was super, because it really touched me. Like, she does that for probably 13 years as a volunteer.
Wow.
She goes there, she drives all the way. Man, certain things you see in life, it completely touched you. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
this level of generosity.
And that just puts faith in the human spirit and the human psychology. Like, there's people out there doing great shit.
I would totally recommend that. Look, it's there. They've been running for many years. It's an amazing place. It's like anyone can go. Everyone's welcome.
Over in Alderley, you said?
Yes, Alderley. Correct.
That's unreal.
Brisbane
Shout
Relaxation Center.
Yeah, man.
Damn, that's cool.
That's a podcast.
We'll get them on the podcast, I think.
Fuck, I'd love that. I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Do you ever, a bit off topic, but
please,
because I know how big you've gotten GARRA now, do you ever sit back and pinch yourself with where it sits today? Like, there's clubs and coaches everywhere. You've only got to take a photo to see how many, see a grading to see how many black belts there are that have all come through. But because of your time here, like,
Johnny, I'll be honest with yourself. That's an amazing question. Sometimes I am on my own, maybe having a shower, maybe having a shit.
Yeah.
And I kind of almost start crying when I think about this.
That's amazing.
Because it's such a small job that you start building, and you have hard days, and you have people that leaves, and you have people, and then you have people that stay, and then like you start rock by rock, you start making, and then you lose. Like you build a base and infrastructure, and then you lose the control of how these arms that are creating. Like, next Saturday, not this Saturday, 29th, I'm gonna visit I made a joke. I'm gonna visit my grandsons. I'm gonna teach my grandsons, which my students become a black belt. They open the gyms. Yeah, I'm gonna teach my grandsons.
That's fucking
amazing. Man, this is for me. Just by going there, I'm already in heaven.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is I could never expect to go that size. One thing I always knew that I would be, even if I didn't have a gym, I would have a garage, I would have mats, and I would be training jiu-jitsu. I knew that. This is if I close the gyms tomorrow, I'll do that.
We're still rolling.
I'm still gonna roll. This is something that makes me feel good. You know, every time the endorphins that make it something like there's something in it that makes me feel good. So I'll take that with me forever. But I think there's other things that actually made me discover things by doing for a long time. So at one point I was like happy with what it do for me. Now I'm happy what that brings to other people. All right, like I can feel how much jiu-jitsu gave me, not only in jiu-jitsu but in my personal life, and I can see how, man, one of the things that really touched me is like I have many parents that they come after a while and they have like tears in their eye and they can't talk, but I know what they mean. You know what I mean? Like, and then for me, man, I'm like, man, I have to control myself here because the transformation, because you build confidence. Confidence is everything. Confidence is what's gonna make you leave your house or not. You know what I mean? Like any little thing, you know what I mean? The less confidence you have, the more restricted your world is gonna be. The less risk you're gonna take. The less you're gonna look for your happiness.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like the more, so you build confidence from people, and confidence to also make a mistake. Do you know what I mean? And be okay with it. You know, which happens. Jiu-jitsu gives you that nearly every day. Have a laugh with your mistake. That's perfect, fine, you know. And I think that when you're able to start giving that to people, or you can transform lives around you, and then it's just that becomes like, man, this is the why I do this. You know, I rediscover that I'm helping a lot more than I thought, because I saw other realms in what I'm doing, and that was beautiful for me.
And that's shit money can't buy.
No way, exactly.
And that's all stemmed from your values and your idea that you had to bring jits up here.
It's the cool experience I think us, let's say, great or good coaches get to have, that you think we're powerlifting them or jiu-jitsu coaching them, then all of a sudden they come in and say, oh man, I had a really great weekend because I'm a little bit less stressed because of what I did here, and now all of a sudden they've got the new job because they were less stressed, or they've changed their lifestyle because they realise they need to be a bit
they stop smoking.
That's the one.
Yes.
And now they've met a partner because they're a bit cleaner, bit nicer. They've cleaned themselves up, and now they're
also
more
confident.
Family, they're confident, so they're prepared to talk to more people.
They change. For example, what they used to go and get knocked out on the pub, they're now gonna go to the park for a bike ride. So man, the whole cycle, you change the entire perspective.
Their circle of influence is now changing. Now you've become the 5 people around you. Now the 5 people are the 5 black belts at GARRA that they're hanging out with all the time. They're all great humans.
You're right.
I think that's the best thing. It's like, at the end of the day, it's 2022, and people, if you don't realize that what you do in the gym will affect what you do outside, like, become aware. Like, come on. Oh, quick question though. It's pronounced GARRA?
GARRA, yeah.
GARRA?
Yeah.
Well, is there a meaning behind it?
There's no R's in Brazil.
100%. 100%. I got used to GARRA.
How many times did people call it that?
Bro, I was so tempted. I was so scared. Like, don't insult him.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But is there
there is a meaning. There is a meaning. So the meaning is, if you go on and look at the dictionary, like it's drive.
Love that.
The capacity to overcome a bad situation is that extra bit that you put. Like you're losing something, you put that extra effort, and then you revert the situation.
I love that. That's
like heart. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool meaning.
That's unreal.
It is.
That
It
is
is super
unreal.
unreal.
And that literally describes you as a person.
I think it describes me as a person because it describes my story of life. You know what I mean? I have
100%.
to put garra to make my life better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everyone should do the same. You know, it's
100%.
there for everyone.
And I think it's like, it's a word in different cultures. Like, Polynesia, they have that mana. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. Like, that is just so powerful. Like,
Yes.
that's unreal, bro.
Yeah, and look, all these learnings that you can get from learning with your mistakes and try to. So if I was making the joke the other day, if I go play ping pong with you, the first thing I want to know what are the rules you play because we might have different rules, right? And then if I lose, okay, I'll think about what you done great, what could I do better. I want to go again. All I want is the opportunity to go again so I can try to do better. You know, like, so you take that for example, for your business or something that you know, something that you do, your profession, like that's super important, you know what I mean? Because things will go wrong.
Yep.
You know, and as long as you take it and you try to do better, it's rather than blame someone else, you know what I mean? Or excuse after excuse, which, you know, it's so easy to find an excuse. Oh my God, this is the man, you can make it any excuse, you know? But if you just, instead of that, you go, man, okay, how can I do this? And the joy that you get once you actually correct it and work, that joy, that's what strives you to the next one. You know?
Each level comes a new challenge.
Yes.
I love that. But just on that as well, a little bit off topic, but on that topic, excuses. I miss the days of where the worst excuse was like my dog ate my homework. Now we got all these
Plenty more opportunities for excuse now.
Oh, bro, it's like, just tell me you didn't do the fucking thing. Like,
Just
just
a lot longer, eh? You're
yeah,
like,
it's like,
Yeah.
bro, just be honest. Yeah, like you didn't do it, you forgot. Who cares? Like the best thing I can say to someone is when they're like, "Oh, have you done?" I'm like, "No, I completely forgot, but it will be done now."
I love that.
Yeah.
So this is what missing. Like I read that the other day. Common sense became such a difficult skill that should be on the people. People start putting a curriculum. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
It's crazy.
Oh,
Do you know how many like?
I love working with people. They're like, "Hey man, look, you done this, right? Don't please." And the guy goes, "Man, I'm sorry. I've done that. It won't happen again." That's for
Owning
me.
it.
Or some other goes, "Oh, can you tell me how this works?" And someone say, "Look, I don't know the answer, but I'll find out. I'll get back to you." Rather than tell me bullshit,
100%.
right? You know what I mean? Like, this is so missing the world. Like,
But
why?
You know what I think? Like, honestly, you talk about before at the start of the podcast. You know, kids haven't taken public transport. It's like what was drilled into me as a kid was crossing a road. Look left, look right, look right, look left, look right again.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I reckon no one has come. No one does that. Look, be accountable, be aware of what's around you, and know what you know, and be confident enough to stand up to what, and say you know what you don't know. I think that's the fucking key.
Absolutely. I love learning new skills as well. You know, like I love being the newbie.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
like, man, you have no nothing. You just open, and then I take what the coach is telling me. You know, like, and I tried, and then it's such a good feeling. You know. A lot of people lost there as well. That humility to go, man. This person we have done for many years. He's telling me, he's spotting me, right? But I watch a video 3 minutes, and now I already mastered of that. So I don't need a coach, you know.
It's like,
My God.
fuck off, you definitely need a coach.
Yeah, be humble.
Which is one of the good things at Jits. Anyone can show you something. Like,
Exactly.
there's so many opportunities to learn.
Man, I think, look, soon as you think like this, your jiu-jitsu is like, this is one of the things that will make your jiu-jitsu. I learned, I've been black belt for 16 or 17 years. I don't know. I have to look on calendars and things. But I've learned moves from, blue belts, from white belts. Because the guy has something he does amazing. I spotted. I said, man, can you show me? Can you show me? Like, do you reckon, if I look at me or look at me, there is a thing, one of the biggest problems with the biggest companies, famous companies nowadays, is that there's two generations, old generation, new generation, be more into tech, the new generation. But the biggest problems they have, they both pretending they know everything.
Yeah.
No one want to show weakness.
Nobody wants to learn from each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, how you gonna get better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me, man, I do the opposite. Man, this guy done something good. I don't care. I want to get better myself. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's a very, I guess, different mentality to see these days. And like what I love about jits and thinking about is like, it's not biased. It's not. You're not going to be good at jits if you're the size of Johnny.
It's not instant.
It's and it's
for
like
instance,
No.
and like that's the thing. It's like
size doesn't matter.
size doesn't
Look,
matter. Nothing matters.
Man,
Gender doesn't matter.
Gender doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
It's what's good on the day, and that's like a similar thing to
material things doesn't matter.
100%. And like I guess I look at it in the same different lens of powerlifting. It's like on the day, nothing matters. The weight doesn't give a shit if you're male or female. It's still that.
Doesn't care what car you drove in.
Exactly. It doesn't give a shit that you just drove in the new fucking Bentley.
Exactly.
That's what I love.
Or
that.
how old you are. The amount of times I got stung by kids. You're just like, damn.
Well, between you two, there's nearly 80 years of experience alone.
I was thinking when I was driving here because before jiu-jitsu became an industry itself, that it was so the gear, all the things were made initially by surfwear companies, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, right at the beginning. So even competitions was the name of a surfwear company in Brazil, the first few competitions, because there was not a market for it. You know. So what was with like making a parallel was what were with like weightlifting? What were the company that were like took a little bit of the beginning in charge of that? You understand? Like to make, or it was more like, oh, I need that thing to get in my hand. Oh, let's go to Bunnings. Like there was like this connection.
Yeah, I think
the big companies at the start would have been.
Yeah, they were just power. To be honest, they were powerlifters.
Yeah,
that were just trying to, make things that they needed.
They will make themselves.
Yeah, like Louis Simmons and Westside.
Yeah, they just make their own shit out of necessity.
Surf as well,
Yeah,
the initial big surf brands were like that.
And then I think like what Inza would be the first company.
Made by John Inza. He was a powerlifter.
He was a powerlifter, and then like the only real thing that I can think of that would have brought like I guess bigger attention to the sport would be Animal.
Yeah.
The supplement company. They started sponsoring athletes, going, let's make this something. And now you got I love their marketing because it was like they'd sponsor athletes and then use their athletes on their packaging. Like you pick up you pick up a protein powder or fucking vitamins and it's got Dan Green on it with a little fucking handwritten note and a signed Dan Green card on the inside. That's amazing. Like I want to buy that again. I want to buy that because Dan Green's using it. Like he's the strongest motherfucker alive.
The biggest problem is one of these guys. They do some in the personal life. They do something really bad. And shit, let's remove that picture.
Yeah, you're like, oh, lose that sponsorship straight away.
He's out.
I think
it's something I always love to ask guys that did jits back in the day and then come over here. What was it like training back when you first started back in Brazil?
Okay, so at the beginning, like jiu-jitsu there was a lot of fights. Right? So everywhere you go, beach, party, whatever, there will be a fight.
Yeah.
It's almost like gangland kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
club versus club sort of stuff.
More like martial, like boxing against jiu-jitsu. That was the beginning. Jiu-jitsu against Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, luta livre, capoeira. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu, a lot like that, and then become jiu-jitsu against jiu-jitsu as well. And so when I start training, it was more like, man, I have my friends. I go with a couple of older friends, and these guys start to get into fights. I hate fights, but man, and there was like brawls, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, I'll better start learning something. But the thing that when I start training, like jiu-jitsu was a very underground thing.
Yeah.
Okay? So it was like, man, your parents would hate you doing it because they knew you kind of belong to a gang.
Yeah.
So and you were learning to fight. So for example, nowadays these things you go, man, this guy would be in jail, you know what I mean? But
sounds like powerlifting.
yeah, but I mean, like, like you training, and then the guy would turn it off. And I was just when I started, I went to the when I started, I was younger. I was a lot younger. But when I turned 13, I went to the adults.
Yep.
Right? So the adults were more that vibe. So they would turn off the lights and say fight.
Oh shit!
So this everyone training,
Bullshit.
boom, 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 turn off the lights, fight. You cannot use, but you have to open hand.
Yep.
And man, in the dark.
In the dark.
So man, what do you do as a 13? You go to the closest wall and do like this. It's your life. And you just hear that like bah, bah, because they always do, someone want to do
Someone's smashing someone.
And I remember many like that. I remember these guys getting fights, and then they're like, oh, the coach go, did you guys break everything? All right, well done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit is in the movie, man. You
That's
know, like,
unreal. It's like Fight Club.
I remember man,
Control
just the
Fight Club.
warm up was 1 hour physical.
Fuck.
So by the time you're going to train, it's just your soul there, like you're not there. You know what I mean? Like how are you not gonna get technical, man? You know,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Training under fatigue.
completely different. Like it's the whole. I mean, look, there was a lot of that make you stronger.
Mm.
You know, that make you stronger, man. You're gonna
100%.
People that learn jiu-jitsu started learning jiu-jitsu in the 80s and 90s in Brazil. They're not a practitioner. They're survivor.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, they survived. They survived. You know what I mean? It was a regiment. You know, and I'm telling you, like you do exercise. Then the coach go to the aerobics room, start talking to a lady, blah blah blah. You there? You on a squat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, comes back whenever. Like, oh, why did you stop? You know, like it was very regimental back then. Yeah, but look, you become stronger. The art is beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there is a lot of good things in terms like the values. Like you have such a hierarchy, respect for the higher belts, and when the higher belts actually take their time to show you techniques as well, which is something jiu-jitsu that happens a lot. Like people don't hide techniques from each other. They actually give to each other. You know what I mean? So it's super welcoming, and they want to see you get better because that training is going to get better. So this is very a teamwork orientated, even as an individual sport. So there's a lot of good values in jiu-jitsu. You know, even back then where there wasn't not as friendly as it is right now, but we still make a great time where we have laugh. You know, when people misbehave or they want to be like a young and make it like something, they would tie you up and put it on the lift or the commercial and leave you there. And,
we've all been
on
on
mouth and things like that. Man, we're bullied like from when you're born. You know what I mean? Like
I love that though. Like I know it's like
They're breeding some strong people.
Yeah,
exactly.
but like you do that now, man. You're getting the phone call.
Yeah.
I went on a footy trip as this is back in high school, like, and I made the team, and fuck, bro, they glad wrapped me up. Like they just, and I was just stuck there until the teacher came and got me, and I was like, it was just like a rite of passage.
Correct.
And like we all laughed about it. I didn't get butt hurt by it. We all moved on. You do that now, and you're getting a call going, your kid's expelled.
Yes.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Fuck, that was funny though.
Yeah. Look, so there was that. But it was really good. There was a lot of like I had really good like. To be honest, this is the other thing too. I was thinking about it the other day. Man, look, my best friends. I have friends all over the world teaching jiu-jitsu as
cool.
well. It's so the friendship. I cannot see the guy for many years. When I see the guys, like nothing happened.
Yeah, I love that.
We have that kind of bond, because if you think about it, it's very different bond than anything else, because I put my life in your hands, literally. You can choke me out to death. I have to tap to command you to stop. So I trust you, and you have to trust me back. So this type of bond you might see like in a SWAT police or army. You know what I mean? This is a very, very deep bond that you make with two civilians.
Yeah.
So that is probably the biggest bond you ever made with a human being. You know what I mean?
100%. That's unreal.
Yeah, pretty sick.
That's yeah.
I think we have to get Brandon on the mat sometime, man.
Mate, please.
Yeah,
One day, man.
I swear Johnny just keeps inviting BJJ guests on just so I get more and more intrigued. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, you're getting me close.
Yes,
After
yes.
this chat, I'm like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
I need to.
No, look, look, jiu-jitsu is such a nice lifestyle. You know, like if you have that mind, like, man, I'm just gonna be open here for whatever happens. I'm gonna try to understand, you don't. The less you see as a fight, because it's actually supposed to be a gentle art, supposed to be an exchange of tricks.
Yeah.
You know, that are happening. You know, and the more you can be like playing piano. It's like, man, you don't want to bang anything. You know what I mean? Like, we're just gonna exchange techniques here. It's like playing chess with your own body.
Yeah,
You know?
human
Love
chess.
that. Yeah, that's
Human
mad.
chess.
Yeah, I love it. So jiu-jitsu started like that, but nowadays I'm also happy that it got a bit more sociable. The good side about that is because it's bringing this benefit for more people, right?
100%.
It's bringing the benefit for more people, but you're always gonna have the danger of that happened to many other things in the world, become too commercial
Yeah.
and have people that don't have the knowledge, the experience to be teaching or coaching, for
That's
example.
what happened to CrossFit.
And exactly,
They just start making money. They're there
it
for the
becomes.
money.
There's a fine line. I always say that there's a fine line between martial arts and commercial,
Yep.
and you have to keep it here.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to keep it here. You're not gonna make as much money in certain things, but you shouldn't.
Nah.
That
It shouldn't be about making money.
It shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. This is not like money no matter what. You're in the wrong business. You know what I mean? Like this is you want to make people feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? Teaching values, teach jiu-jitsu, that they want to keep going.
Yeah.
So they will be a ongoing client. You know what I mean? And their family, they want to take their families. That's how you make your money.
100%.
Do good service, man. Do good quality.
Service beyond anything, bro.
Yeah.
Treat them well.
Yeah, 100%. I think one thing I like to say, I really enjoy what you touched on it the best. The better guys, the higher belts, will not just happily, but want to teach the people underneath them that aren't quite as good yet, because they recognise they'll get better.
Yes.
They don't try and keep anything from them.
And I
love
remember
that.
vividly my coach in Brazil, vividly. Actually, his birthday today. Poor, happy birthday, Vini. I'll send you a link. There was this guy, this black belt that came as a visitor to my gym, and he submitted a guy. He was training with a guy from a lower belt. Submitted a guy, and the guy that got submitted said, "Man, wow, awesome! What did you do?" It's like, "Oh, this is a black belt secret." My coach said to him, "Hey, man, stand up, remove your gear. I don't want you here." Just because he wasn't willing to share, you know what I mean?
Right.
Shouldn't be
You know,
like that.
like, man, imagine if everyone start hiding, man. How can we
Yeah.
improve?
Yeah,
100%.
You know?
The rising tide raises all boats.
And I'm so, for me, like I said before, the environment is so important that I sometimes have to tell people to go.
Yeah.
And I have no problem. I'll do that another 100 times if I have to.
Yeah,
Because, like you said as well on our podcast, Johnny, the best thing about it is to have people that you like with. Like, man, you have to be at least like have a friendly and respectful relationship. Otherwise, you can't teach that person man, if you can't get to that level. You know.
And I feel the same with clients that I've taken on board that they move on for the right reasons. You're doing them a disservice too, right? By trying to keep them there.
Correct.
It's going to be a bad
They're
seed.
getting a bad experience as well. Like, you know,
True.
have that adult conversation where, you know, hey, maybe it's not working. I actually know of X place. I think that's where you fit. It's not because you're nothing wrong. It's just this isn't your fit.
Yes.
And I think that's your fit over there. And they're good too.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And sometimes even the person that's coming have just a different purpose,
Mm.
and it's not what you do.
Yeah.
You know, like I had many people that come to my gym. Hey man, I want to learn how to fight because I said, man, look, I do jiu-jitsu. I don't do MMA, but there is this guy here, man. Should you go and check it out? Because man, I don't enjoy doing MMA. Basically, you know what I mean. I already train with people that fought in them, but it's not my thing. I don't like training fighters. You know what I mean? Like it's not my thing. You know.
Yeah, right.
But you know, like another very interesting thing about jiu-jitsu is if you like as a coach as well is spotting a person that can have perhaps be a great competitor and have a career in the sport of jiu-jitsu. I was lucky, and I think he was lucky too, because I spotted him. Because I spotted him too, you know, and that relationship brought him to, he's all his effort and all his education, his talent. That's the most important thing. But brought him to be a world medalist now, you know, Australian champion, Australasian champion, you know, 2 years in a row, you know, one of the biggest names in the sport. And that is another side of coaching as well. It's like not every coach has that sensibility, you know, sensitivity. I think I'm gifted with that. And there are certain qualities that are now thinking about it, like with all these years of experience, that like they have to be, if they come from athlete background, it's very good. Like they have the work ethics, because it's not easy to get there, you know, and you're gonna be defeated and you have to come back. If the family, close family supports that decision, that's another important
100%.
But if they're not drinking and not partying and not or at least like a minimum amount, that's another very important thing, because that completely takes away this direction here, you know, deviates. So there's a few important qualities that you can, and Anton is amazing. Anton is, he's on a spectrum for jiu-jitsu. Like his vision is not normal.
Sees it differently.
I remember back on the day going, man, you need to work on this in 3 weeks, and we take someone normal working hard on it a year to get like, and then in 3 weeks he's already mastered that, and he's showing stuff back to you. I'm like, man, this is not normal. Like, that kind of like, you know, like, and I've been telling this to people a long time, you know, and sometimes I spotted these things earlier, and then I tell people, and a lot of people that are actually good in jiu-jitsu go, no way, man, nah, he's not that good at that. Oh, no, it's not gonna. But you know, like in you, and I trust 100%. You know what I mean? I have no doubt. You could tell me whatever, and it's really funny because right now, like, you know, as long as he has the dream and the drive to keep make it happen, man, I'm 100% behind him, man. Like, I want as much as him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's unreal.
We're going for it, you know?
Yeah. Anton's a beast, bro.
He is a fucking animal.
Anton is a beast, but he's a beast that gets better every day, man, and this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. That's not normal, man. I'm telling you, it is not normal.
Oh, man, I still remember when he first was at the club when I was training there. I think he was a blue belt from memory. Yeah. I remember getting the first chance who was a quiet, shy, very reserved kid.
I remember having a conversation with Fabio, which is a friend of ours, and he's going, how can we make this kid laugh and talk?
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, just so you open up. Like, you're so shy, you
Get
know?
some words out of him.
And now sometimes I go, man, he doesn't stop. Funny.
Yeah. But I was going to say, I remember at a blue belt level, like, you just had to roll with him once to know he was different.
Yes.
Just different.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you know, and we keep challenging ourselves, and like, you know, which I love challenging myself, man. I think otherwise it gets stale, it gets boring, you know, like, and in the middle of the COVID, I was like, man, you have this out of this world kind of vision. I can see that. Why don't we use our time? We were back where we had closed, we shut down. Man, we could do essential work, whatever it was called at the time. We're like, man, let's get this guy, let's make a video library, man. You know, and we
Download
keep working diligently, exactly. And now we're close to 1,000 positions, man, divided by, like, there's another 3 in the world like that, but actually not exactly like that, because we did a curriculum. So we separated in areas. So if you want to learn how to, the other day I am trying to get better at getting people's back. So I'm like, man, so you go back tech, and there's like boom, 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 boom. So you go in there, and you kind of, and that is, no one done it before, you know what I mean?
That's
like
insane.
That. And this is where, like, I'm so proud when I look back, and man, you guys know, man, it's hard work. You need to be super disciplined, because some days you're like, oh shit, I don't want to do that, or you know, like, But we go, man. Every single week we're there, you know,
Yeah.
and we keep going. And now when you look to the product, you start looking like, man, you actually making like things that are like no one done it, you know what I mean? And you actually making it, and because you believe. And my goal, this is the same as the podcast. My goal, I don't look at finance, you know what I mean? Just the financial thing, you know what I mean? That's not like my thing of like, oh man, and this is gonna give me this much money. I'm not a dreamer, and I'm not doing that for that. I'm doing that for the challenge. I'm doing that because it's something that I enjoy doing, something that I think it should be done. Will help my students to have access to online curriculums if they want to go to this option, because it requires some self-discipline as well to go there rather than go on, you know, Instagram, whatever. But it's worth doing, you know, like, and this is something that I also did as well. Like I did I did some other, you know, investing property. I did some other stuff on the side, so I don't have to never cross the line.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and
You're smart.
I never have to, let's grade more times. Oh, you look great today. I'll grade you, pay me some money. Never gonna do that, man. I'm never gonna become a prostitute ever.
Love that.
Fuck, I love that, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Sick, mate. Mr. Ed, what we like to do at the end is hit you with 10 random questions. They are brand new for the year. I've tested them out on Brando. They worked
They're rapid
really
fire.
good. They're
First
rapid
thing that
fire.
comes to mind.
Okay.
Are you ready? Question
10
number
questions.
Question number 1. What'd you have for dinner last night?
Shit, I don't remember. They have to be quick though.
Yep.
I was the same.
My cheese bread.
Yum.
Yeah.
Only 4 though.
What's in the boot of your car or van?
My dog stick.
Nice. When was the last time you changed your bed sheets?
Every week.
Lovely. Because there's some weird people that don't do that.
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
What is your middle name?
Andrew.
Sick. Your favorite year and why?
Right now.
Yes.
Love that.
What was the first record, cassette, or CD you ever owned?
Bob Marley, the Wailers, baby.
Yes. The last dream you had?
Shit, I'm not a really good person. I remember my dreams. Yeah, I'm not really good. I remember my dreams.
That's okay. Brando's last dream was he was a ninja, or taking on some ninjas.
No, it was.
Yeah.
So I think that's another calling for Jets.
Look, I'll call it like when I'm meditating and I manage to go completely on the zone. You know what I mean? Which happens like a lot. Just to get on the zone and that relaxment and open a big smile.
I reckon
It happen every week, man.
I reckon I already know the answer to this, but what will you do when you retire?
But when I do retire, I will try to visit different cultures, different places.
Mad.
Try to help, go to poor places and try to help. I always have this agreement with my wife since we started. Just try to help people. You know what I mean? Could be teaching jiu-jitsu, could be trying to build a house, doing some form of physical work as well. Get to see new cultures, travel. Definitely train jiu-jitsu.
He's never not.
Hopefully be in the water. I love swimming. I love surfing. You know what I mean? I love the water.
Yeah, nice.
That's it.
Your morning routine?
Wake up, coffee, stretching / meditation or / yoga. Look at the garden, look at the plants a little bit. I built up really into plants.
Yep.
In my garden. Look at them, see how they're growing. You know, take a few, do a little clean up, and then go on with life.
I like it. What do you think of AI, artificial intelligence?
Alright, if it can be helpful, go for it.
Mad. Yeah, I agree.
Sick.
Mate, you're a hoot. That was
Yeah, you
that
are.
was one of my favourite podcasts for sure, and it was great to chat with you. Thank you so much for giving up your time and coming on. Where can people find you? Because you got the studio. Where's that in Albion?
So Kelvin Grove. So we Kelvin Grove at Bishop Street. You can check us out at GARRA.
Yeah.
So www.garra, GARRA, BJJ from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.com.au.
Perfect, mate.
And it was a pleasure. I really appreciate
Mate,
guys.
I love it.
I think you guys made me more interesting than I actually am. Thanks for that.
we get that a lot, but I think it's just that we actually get interesting guests.
Yeah, hell
So,
yeah.
mate, we'll throw all those links in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on, and mate, we'll have to get you back on. I'd love to do a duo with you and Anton or something, and
Yeah,
just
we'll do a
fucking
duo.
chat.
Absolutely my pleasure, guys. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching us. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. That was unreal.